Like and subscribe for more content.
Understanding the complexities of consumer credit and debt is paramount to protecting one's financial well-being. In the modern economy, credit plays a crucial role, impacting everything from securing a mortgage to obtaining a car loan, or even simply making everyday purchases. This section will delve into the intricacies of consumer credit, explaining key concepts and outlining strategies for responsible debt management, all within the framework of legal protections afforded to consumers. At the heart of the consumer credit system lies the credit score. This three-digit number, calculated by credit bureaus like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, summarizes an individual's creditworthiness based on their past borrowing and repayment behavior. A higher credit score typically translates to better loan terms, lower interest rates, and more favorable repayment schedules. Factors contributing to a credit score include payment history, the most significant factor, amounts owed, length of credit history, credit mix, the variety of credit accounts held, and new credit, recent applications for credit. Understanding these factors enables consumers to actively manage their credit profiles and improve their scores over time. Regularly reviewing your credit reports for accuracy is crucial, as errors can negatively impact your score. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, you have the right to dispute inaccurate information on your credit report, and the credit bureaus are obligated to investigate and correct any errors they find. Interest rates, the price paid for borrowing money, are another critical aspect of consumer credit. They are expressed as a percentage of the principal amount borrowed and significantly impact the overall cost of credit. Interest rates are influenced by several factors, including the prevailing market interest rates, the borrower's credit score, the loan term, and the type of loan. Understanding how interest rates work is essential for making informed borrowing decisions. For example, a seemingly small difference in interest rates can translate into substantial savings or extra costs over the life of a loan. Before taking out any loan, it's essential to compare offers from multiple lenders to find the most favorable interest rate. Consumers should be aware of predatory lending practices, such as excessively high interest rates or hidden fees, which can trap borrowers in a cycle of debt. Responsible debt management is crucial for maintaining a healthy financial life. This involves carefully budgeting expenses, prioritizing debt repayment, and avoiding excessive borrowing. Developing a realistic budget is the first step towards responsible debt management. A budget helps track income and expenses, allowing individuals to identify areas where they can cut back and allocate funds towards debt repayment. There are various debt repayment strategies, including the avalanche method, prioritizing debts with the highest interest rates, and the snowball method, prioritizing debts with the smallest balances. The choice of strategy depends on individual circumstances and financial goals. Seeking professional financial advice can be invaluable in developing a personalized debt management plan. Credit counseling agencies offer guidance and support to individuals struggling with debt, helping them negotiate with creditors and create manageable repayment plans. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, provides significant legal protection to consumers against abusive debt collection practices. This act prohibits debt collectors from engaging in harassment, threats, or intimidation. It also restricts the times and methods debt collectors can use to contact debtors. For example, debt collectors are prohibited from contacting debtors at inconvenient hours or repeatedly contacting them after being requested to cease communication. The FDCPA also requires debt collectors to identify themselves as such and to provide consumers with written notice of the debt. Understanding the FDCPA empowers consumers to challenge unlawful debt collection tactics and protect themselves from harassment. If a consumer believes a debt collector has violated the FDCPA, they can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, or pursue legal action to recover damages. Documentation of all interactions with debt collectors is vital for establishing a case of FDCPA violation. Beyond the legal protections afforded by the FDCPA, consumers have other avenues for redress. State laws often provide additional consumer protections regarding debt collection. These laws may vary in scope and detail, but generally aim to prevent abusive debt collection practices. Many states have attorney general offices that handle consumer complaints, including those related to debt collection. Consumers can file complaints with these offices to initiate investigations and seek remedies. Additionally, consumer advocacy groups can provide support and guidance to consumers dealing with abusive debt collection practices. These groups often offer free or low-cost legal services and can help navigate the complexities of consumer protection laws. The importance of understanding credit reports cannot be overstated. Credit reports are compiled by credit bureaus and contain information about an individual's credit history, including payment history, amounts owed, and public records. Accuracy is paramount because inaccuracies can significantly impact an individual's credit score and ability to obtain credit. The FCRA grants consumers the right to obtain a free copy of their credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus annually. Consumers should take advantage of this right to review their reports for accuracy and identify any errors. If errors are found, consumers can dispute them with the credit bureaus and request corrections. The process typically involves submitting a dispute letter to the credit bureau, along with supporting documentation demonstrating the error. The credit bureau is then obligated to investigate the dispute and take appropriate action. The process of managing consumer credit and navigating the legal landscape of debt collection can be daunting. However, by understanding the key concepts, rights, and available remedies, consumers can better protect themselves from abusive practices and ensure a healthy financial life. Proactive steps, such as regularly reviewing credit reports, practicing responsible debt management, and knowing the protections offered by the FDCPA and state laws, are crucial for empowering consumers in their financial dealings. It's always advisable to seek professional financial and legal advice when navigating complex financial matters. The information provided here serves as a general guide and should not be substituted for professional advice tailored to individual circumstances. Remember, taking control of your financial future begins with understanding your rights and responsibilities as a consumer. Furthermore, the consumer credit system is intertwined with broader economic and social issues. Access to credit is essential for participation in the economy, but inequalities in access and predatory lending practices disproportionately affect vulnerable populations. Understanding these systemic issues can inform advocacy efforts to promote fair and equitable access to credit for all. Policy reforms aimed at protecting consumers from abusive lending practices and promoting financial literacy are crucial for building a more just and sustainable financial system. The rise of digital lending platforms and online credit products has introduced both opportunities and challenges. While these platforms often offer increased convenience and access to credit, they also increase the risk of fraud and scams. Consumers need to exercise increased caution when engaging with online lenders. Verifying the legitimacy of a lender, understanding the terms and conditions of a loan, and being aware of potential phishing schemes are all critical steps in protecting oneself from online lending scams. The CFPB provides resources and guidance for consumers to navigate the complexities of digital lending. Finally, the topic of bankruptcy, while often a last resort, deserves mention. Bankruptcy can provide a legal mechanism for individuals and businesses to discharge overwhelming debt. However, it's a significant financial decision with long-term consequences. Understanding the different types of bankruptcy, Chapter 7 and Chapter 13, the eligibility requirements, and the potential impact on credit scores is crucial before considering this option. Consulting with a bankruptcy attorney is highly recommended to navigate the complex legal process and determine if bankruptcy is the most appropriate course of action. Careful planning and consideration of the potential consequences are essential before embarking on this path. Bankruptcy should be seen as a legal tool of last resort for individuals facing insurmountable debt, a powerful remedy but with significant long-term impacts. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, stands as a critical bulwark against abusive debt collection tactics. Enacted in 1977, this federal law aims to protect consumers from harassment, unfair practices, and deceptive methods employed by debt collectors. The FDCPA doesn't erase debts. Instead, it regulates how debt collectors pursue them. Understanding its provisions is crucial for consumers to assert their rights and avoid becoming victims of unfair practices. The FDCPA defines a debt collector broadly, encompassing those who regularly collect debts owed to others. This includes collection agencies, but it also extends to attorneys and other individuals who frequently engage in debt collection activities. A crucial aspect of the FDCPA is its prohibition on harassment or abuse. This includes actions such as threatening violence, using obscene language, repeatedly calling at inconvenient times, e.g., before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., contacting the debtor at their workplace if the employer prohibits such calls, or contacting third parties unless necessary to locate the debtor. The law also forbids false or misleading representations. For instance, a debt collector cannot falsely claim to be an attorney, threaten legal action without the intent to pursue it, or misrepresent the amount of the debt. The FDCPA mandates that debt collectors identify themselves clearly as such when contacting a debtor. This prevents confusion and ensures transparency in their interactions. It also requires them to provide written validation of the debt within 5 days of their initial contact. This validation notice must include the amount of the debt, the name of the creditor to whom the debt is owed, and the steps a debtor can take to dispute the debt. This gives consumers the opportunity to verify the accuracy of the debt and challenge any inaccuracies or discrepancies. Disputing a debt under the FDCPA involves a formal process. Upon receiving the validation notice, a consumer can send a written request to the debt collector, disputing the debt and requesting verification of the claimed amount and creditor. The debt collector must then cease collection activities until it provides proper verification or withdraws the claim. Failure to provide the required verification within a reasonable time constitutes a violation of the FDCPA. The FDCPA also restricts the locations where debt collectors can contact debtors. They are generally prohibited from contacting debtors at locations they know to be inconvenient, such as hospitals or places of worship. Furthermore, they are forbidden from contacting debtors after the debtor has explicitly requested them to cease all communications. This cease and desist provision is a powerful tool for consumers to stop unwanted contact. However, it's crucial to document the request in writing, ideally sending it via certified mail with return receipt requested. Beyond these core provisions, the FDCPA offers other protections. It limits the times and methods debt collectors can use to contact debtors, forbidding contact outside of reasonable hours or through harassing tactics. It also prohibits the use of unfair or deceptive methods, such as employing threatening or coercive language or falsely representing their authority. The law is designed to ensure fair and respectful communication between debt collectors and consumers. If a consumer believes a debt collector has violated the FDCPA, they have several avenues for recourse. They can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, a federal agency tasked with overseeing consumer financial protection. The CFPB can investigate the complaint and take appropriate action against the debt collector if a violation is found. Many states also have agencies dedicated to consumer protection, and filing a complaint with the state attorney general's office can be another effective approach. Further, consumers can pursue legal action against a debt collector who violates the FDCPA, potentially recovering damages including statutory damages, attorney's fees, and court costs. However, successfully pursuing a claim under the FDCPA requires meticulous documentation. Consumers should keep records of all communication with debt collectors, including dates, times, and content of phone calls and written correspondence. This documentation is crucial in building a case for a FDCPA violation. Consider carefully documenting each attempt at contact, noting the details of the conversation, and including the name of the debt collector, their contact information, and a summary of their statements. If possible, maintain a record of the time and date of each contact. While the FDCPA offers strong protections, it's essential to remember that it only applies to debt collectors and does not cover original creditors who attempt to collect their own debts. Original creditors are not always subject to the same restrictions as debt collectors. However, some state laws might provide similar protections even against the original creditor. Navigating the complexities of debt collection can be overwhelming, but understanding your rights under the FDCPA and other relevant laws empowers you to protect yourself from abusive practices. By documenting interactions, responding appropriately to collection attempts, and knowing your options for recourse, you can better manage debt collection situations and avoid falling victim to illegal and unfair tactics. Remember, proactive steps are key to protecting your rights as a consumer. Remember to consult with an attorney specializing in consumer law if you have questions or need help navigating a complex debt collection situation. They can provide advice tailored to your specific circumstances and assist in pursuing legal remedies if necessary. The realm of consumer debt extends beyond the FDCPA's purview, touching upon other legal frameworks critical to consumer protection. State laws often augment the protections afforded by the FDCPA, establishing specific regulations regarding debt collection practices. These laws may vary significantly from state to state, dictating permissible contact methods, limitations on the amount of debt that can be collected, and specific restrictions on collection activities targeting vulnerable individuals. Researching your state's specific consumer protection laws is vital to gaining a complete picture of your legal rights. Furthermore, the interplay between federal and state laws requires careful consideration. While the FDCPA sets a baseline standard of conduct for debt collectors, state laws can offer more stringent protections, creating a tiered system of legal safeguards. If a debt collector violates both federal and state laws, consumers might have recourse under both, expanding the potential for recovery and remedies. Beyond the legal frameworks governing debt collection, accessing reliable financial advice and consumer education resources is also crucial. Many nonprofit organizations and government agencies provide free or low-cost resources that empower consumers to make informed decisions regarding their finances and navigate the complexities of debt. These resources can be invaluable in developing sound financial habits, understanding consumer rights, and avoiding predatory lending and debt collection practices. The rise of online lending platforms and digital financial services has presented new challenges in the realm of debt collection. Online interactions, often characterized by limited personal contact, can make it more difficult to document abusive practices and effectively respond to debt collection attempts. Therefore, it's imperative that consumers maintain comprehensive records of all digital communications, including emails, text messages, and online chat logs, to protect their rights. The CFPB offers specific guidance on navigating the online lending landscape and safeguarding oneself from online scams, so consumers should familiarize themselves with these resources. Ultimately, navigating consumer debt and the complexities of debt collection requires vigilance, knowledge, and proactive steps. Understanding the legal protections available, utilizing available resources, and documenting all interactions are critical steps toward protecting oneself from unfair and abusive debt collection practices. While the legal landscape may seem complex, understanding your rights and actively pursuing remedies ensures a stronger position in managing debt and protecting your financial well-being. Remember, seeking professional legal advice remains a valuable strategy when facing overwhelming debt or abusive debt collection practices. This ensures you receive personalized guidance tailored to your unique situation, maximizing your chances of a positive resolution. Beyond the legal frameworks governing debt collection, a robust network of consumer protection agencies and resources stands ready to assist consumers facing financial challenges and unfair practices. These agencies play a vital role in enforcing consumer protection laws, mediating disputes, and providing valuable information and support. Understanding the resources available and how to utilize them effectively is crucial for navigating the complexities of consumer finance. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, serves as a cornerstone of federal consumer protection. Established in 1914, the FTC's mandate encompasses a broad range of consumer issues, including debt collection abuses. The FTC investigates complaints about unfair or deceptive debt collection practices, taking enforcement actions against violators. These actions can include cease and desist orders, monetary penalties, and restitution for harmed consumers. The FTC's website offers a wealth of resources, including educational materials, guides on avoiding scams, and a mechanism for filing consumer complaints. The complaint process is straightforward. Consumers can file complaints online, by phone, or by mail, providing detailed information about the alleged violation. The FTC carefully reviews these complaints, initiating investigations when warranted. While the FTC cannot guarantee specific outcomes, it actively works to protect consumers from unfair and deceptive business practices, and the agency's actions can significantly impact the behavior of debt collectors. Complementing the FTC's federal oversight, each state maintains its own Attorney General's office, often equipped with a dedicated consumer protection division. These state-level agencies provide an essential layer of protection, addressing consumer complaints within their respective jurisdictions. State Attorney General offices frequently handle complaints concerning debt collection, unfair lending practices, and other consumer finance issues. The specific procedures for filing complaints vary by state, but generally involve submitting a written complaint outlining the details of the alleged violation. Many state attorney general offices have websites with online complaint forms, making the process accessible and convenient. Additionally, some states operate dedicated consumer protection agencies separate from the Attorney General's office, providing further options for consumers to seek redress. These agencies often have broader mandates, encompassing consumer issues beyond debt collection, such as product safety and deceptive advertising. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, plays a pivotal role in overseeing consumer financial products and services. Established in 2011, the CFPB's jurisdiction extends to a wide array of financial products, including credit cards, mortgages, and payday loans. The CFPB's focus on consumer protection includes investigating complaints concerning debt collection practices, particularly those involving unfair, deceptive, or abusive acts or practices, UDAPE. The CFPB has the authority to issue civil penalties, impose cease and desist orders, and require restitution for harmed consumers. Their website provides resources, guidance, and an online complaint portal. The agency's expertise specifically in consumer finance makes it a powerful tool for consumers facing issues with debt collection and related financial products. Beyond federal and state agencies, numerous nonprofit organizations dedicate themselves to consumer protection and financial literacy. These organizations offer invaluable resources, education, and support to consumers navigating financial difficulties. Some focus specifically on debt counseling, providing advice and strategies for managing debt and avoiding predatory lending. Others provide educational materials on consumer rights, budgeting, and financial planning. Many nonprofit organizations offer their services at little to no cost, ensuring that consumers, regardless of their income level, have access to vital support. These organizations often have experienced counselors or advisors available to provide personalized assistance and guidance. Seeking advice from reputable nonprofit organizations can be a crucial first step for consumers facing financial hardship. In addition to formal complaints, consumers can proactively protect themselves by building strong financial habits and acquiring financial literacy. Understanding basic financial principles such as budgeting, saving, and debt management empowers consumers to make informed decisions and avoid predatory lending practices. Many free or low-cost resources, including online courses, workshops, and educational materials, are available to help consumers develop sound financial habits. Utilizing these resources can help consumers avoid falling into debt traps and mitigate the risk of facing abusive debt collection practices. The better informed a consumer is, the less vulnerable they are to financial exploitation. The process of filing a complaint with any of these agencies typically requires documenting all relevant information meticulously. This includes maintaining records of all communications with debt collectors, creditors, or other involved parties. This documentation should include dates, times, names, and content of communications, whether in writing, by phone, or electronically. Preserving evidence of the debt itself, including contracts, agreements, or payment records, is also crucial. The more detailed and comprehensive the documentation, the stronger the case a consumer has when filing a complaint. Organizing this information chronologically with clear labeling and dates is highly recommended. It is crucial to understand that the effectiveness of filing a complaint depends on several factors, including the specifics of the situation, the evidence available, and the responsiveness of the agency. While agencies endeavor to resolve complaints efficiently, the process may take time and may not always result in the desired outcome. Even if the complaint does not lead to a direct resolution, it contributes to a larger effort to combat unfair practices and protect consumers' rights. The act of filing a complaint itself can sometimes prompt the offending party to reconsider their actions or correct the situation to avoid further investigation. The use of technology has brought both benefits and new challenges to the consumer finance landscape. While online lending and digital financial services offer convenience, they also create opportunities for scams and abusive practices. It is essential for consumers to be aware of online scams and to take steps to protect themselves from fraud. The FTC, CFPB, and state attorney general offices actively work to combat online fraud, providing educational resources and tools to help consumers identify and avoid scams. Maintaining detailed records of online transactions, including emails, text messages, and chat logs, is essential when dealing with online lenders or debt collectors. This documentation can be critical in proving or disproving allegations of unfair or deceptive practices. Consumers should also be wary of unsolicited offers of financial assistance, especially those that appear too good to be true. Legitimate financial institutions will generally not contact consumers out of the blue offering loans or debt relief. In conclusion, navigating the complexities of consumer debt and protecting oneself against unfair practices requires vigilance, knowledge, and proactive engagement with the resources available. The network of federal and state agencies, nonprofit organizations, and educational materials provides invaluable support for consumers facing financial challenges. Understanding one's rights, maintaining meticulous records, and utilizing these resources are vital steps toward ensuring fair treatment and achieving a positive resolution in financial disputes. Remember, seeking professional legal advice remains a prudent strategy for complex situations, ensuring personalized guidance and expert advocacy in protecting your financial well-being. Understanding the intricacies of contracts and agreements is paramount for protecting your financial rights as a consumer. Many consumer finance transactions, from credit card agreements to loan documents, involve legally binding contracts. A thorough understanding of contract law can empower you to navigate these agreements effectively and avoid potential pitfalls. This section will demystify key aspects of contract law, enabling you to better protect yourself in financial dealings. At the heart of any contract lies the fundamental principle of mutual agreement. This involves an offer made by one party and an acceptance of that offer by another. An offer is a clear and unequivocal expression of willingness to enter into a contract on specific terms. It must be sufficiently definite to allow for a clear understanding of the obligations involved. For instance, an offer to loan money must specify the amount, interest rate, repayment terms, and any other relevant conditions. A vague or ambiguous statement does not constitute a valid offer. Similarly, an advertisement offering a product at a specific price is generally considered an invitation to treat rather than a formal offer, meaning it's an invitation for customers to make an offer to purchase. The seller is then free to accept or reject that offer. Acceptance, the second crucial component, signifies the unqualified assent to the terms of the offer. It must mirror the offer exactly. Any alterations or modifications constitute a counteroffer, effectively rejecting the original offer and proposing a new one. Acceptance can be communicated orally, in writing, or through conduct, depending on the nature of the agreement. However, the method of acceptance must be in accordance with any specifications stated within the original offer. For instance, if an offer stipulates that acceptance must be in writing, an oral acceptance may not be valid. Silence, in most cases, does not constitute acceptance. A contract is not formed simply because someone has failed to respond to an offer. Active acceptance is required. The third essential element of a valid contract is consideration. Consideration is something of value exchanged between the parties to the contract. It can be money, goods, services, a promise to act, or a promise to refrain from acting. Consideration ensures that the agreement is not merely a gratuitous promise, but a reciprocal exchange. Each party must provide something of value to the other. For example, in a loan agreement, the lender provides money, consideration, and the borrower promises to repay the loan with interest, consideration. The absence of mutual consideration renders the contract unenforceable. There are some exceptions, such as promissory estoppel, where a promise is legally binding even without formal consideration, but this applies in specific situations. Once a contract is formed, it creates legally binding obligations on both parties. A breach of contract occurs when one party fails to fulfill their contractual obligations without lawful excuse. The consequences of a breach of contract can vary depending on the specifics of the agreement and the severity of the breach. The non-breaching party may be entitled to various remedies, including monetary damages, specific performance, forcing the breaching party to fulfill their obligations, or rescission, canceling the contract. The remedies available to the injured party are often linked to the type and extent of the breach. For example, in a situation where a consumer purchases a defective product under a warranty, they may be entitled to a repair, replacement, or refund depending on the terms of the warranty and the relevant laws. Similarly, a breach of a loan agreement might lead to legal action by the lender to recover the outstanding amount, along with interest and penalties. In cases involving fraudulent misrepresentation or duress, the contract may be deemed voidable at the option of the wronged party. Before signing any contract, carefully review its terms and conditions. Pay close attention to details such as interest rates, fees, penalties for late payment, and any clauses that limit liability. If anything is unclear, seek clarification from the other party or consult with a legal professional before committing to the agreement. Do not be pressured into signing a contract you do not fully understand. Take your time to read the fine print and ask questions. Understand the implications of each clause before signing. Consider consulting with a financial advisor before entering into significant financial agreements. A financial advisor can help you assess the potential risks and benefits, ensuring the contract aligns with your financial goals and circumstances. They can provide unbiased advice and help you understand the implications of various terms and conditions. This is especially vital when making large purchases or obtaining loans with complex repayment schedules. Real-world scenarios highlight the importance of understanding contracts. Imagine a situation where a consumer signs a loan agreement without reading the fine print. Later, they discover hidden fees or penalties, significantly increasing the cost of the loan. Without understanding the contract, they might find themselves facing financial hardship due to unexpected costs. Alternatively, imagine a consumer buying a used car and failing to obtain a clear understanding of the terms of the warranty. When the car breaks down shortly afterward, they may be unable to make a successful claim for repair or replacement. The law surrounding contracts is complex, with specific details and interpretations varying according to jurisdiction and the specifics of each agreement. State and federal laws play a crucial role in defining the legal frameworks for contracts. The Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, for example, governs commercial transactions in many states, offering a standardized approach to certain aspects of contract law. However, the intricacies of individual contracts often necessitate legal expertise for complete understanding and protection. Understanding the implications of warranties is another key aspect of consumer protection. A warranty is a promise or guarantee regarding the quality, performance, or durability of a product or service. Express warranties are explicitly stated, either verbally or in writing, while implied warranties are automatically provided under the law, such as the implied warranty of merchantability, guaranteeing that a product is fit for its ordinary purpose. Understanding the terms and limitations of warranties is crucial in protecting your rights as a consumer. Furthermore, the concept of unconscionability in contract law is also important. A contract is considered unconscionable if its terms are so unfair or one-sided as to be shocking to the conscience. Courts will generally refuse to enforce unconscionable contracts, protecting consumers from exploitative agreements. Understanding these principles provides you with essential tools for challenging unfair or oppressive contractual terms. In conclusion, while the legal landscape of contracts can be intricate, understanding the fundamentals of offer, acceptance, consideration, and breach of contract empowers consumers to engage in financial transactions with confidence. By carefully reviewing contracts before signing, seeking clarification when necessary, and consulting with professionals when dealing with complex agreements, you significantly reduce the risk of financial exploitation and strengthen your ability to resolve disputes effectively. Remember, proactive engagement with these principles is an essential element of robust consumer protection. Vigilance and knowledge are your best defenses against unfair or deceptive contractual practices. Proactive consumerism, informed decision-making, and judicious engagement with legal resources are the cornerstones of a secure and financially stable future. The foundation of secure financial dealings rests not only on understanding contracts, but also on proactively protecting oneself from the pervasive threats of fraud and identity theft. These crimes, often intertwined, can inflict devastating financial and emotional consequences, leaving victims grappling with debt, damaged credit scores, and a sense of violation. Understanding the various forms these crimes take and implementing robust preventative measures is crucial for safeguarding your financial well-being. One of the most prevalent types of fraud is credit card fraud. This can range from unauthorized purchases made with a stolen card to the more sophisticated practice of skimming, where thieves use electronic devices to capture card information at ATMs or point-of-sale systems. Online fraud is another significant concern, with phishing scams, malware, and fake websites designed to steal personal information and financial credentials becoming increasingly sophisticated. Phishing emails often mimic legitimate institutions, tricking victims into revealing sensitive data, while malware can secretly install itself on computers and mobile devices to steal information or control online activity. Fake websites, often mirroring legitimate online retailers or financial institutions, are meticulously crafted to deceive unsuspecting users. Beyond credit card fraud, consumers face numerous other financial threats. Check fraud involves forging or altering checks to obtain funds illegally. Bank fraud encompasses various schemes to defraud financial institutions, from creating fake accounts to engaging in insider trading. Investment fraud targets individuals seeking to invest their money, promising high returns that are rarely delivered. Ponzi schemes are a prime example, where early investors are paid with funds from later investors until the scheme collapses. Advance fee fraud involves requesting an upfront payment for a service that is never delivered, often promising lucrative opportunities that never materialize. These schemes often prey on individuals seeking financial help or eager to make a quick profit, making them particularly vulnerable. Identity theft, a closely related crime, involves stealing someone's personal information, such as their social security number, driver's license number, or credit card details, to assume their identity. The stolen information is then used to open fraudulent accounts, obtain loans, file taxes fraudulently, or commit other crimes in the victim's name. The consequences of identity theft can be far-reaching and long-lasting, requiring significant time and effort to rectify the damage. It can lead to financial ruin, damaged credit ratings, difficulty obtaining loans or credit, and even legal issues. Protecting yourself from fraud and identity theft requires a multifaceted approach. Firstly, cultivate good financial habits. Regularly review your bank and credit card statements, looking for any unauthorized transactions. Monitor your credit report for any suspicious activity by regularly accessing your credit reports from all three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These reports provide a comprehensive overview of your credit history, allowing you to identify potential signs of fraud. If you discover any discrepancies, immediately contact the relevant institutions and initiate the necessary steps to resolve the issue. Secondly, adopt secure online practices. Be cautious about clicking on links or opening attachments from unknown sources. Use strong, unique passwords for all your online accounts and regularly update them. Avoid using public Wi-Fi networks for sensitive financial transactions, and always ensure websites are secure. Look for HTTPS in the URL. Consider using antivirus and anti-malware software on your computer and mobile devices to protect against cyber threats. Thirdly, be aware of common scams. Never respond to unsolicited emails or phone calls requesting personal information or financial details. Legitimate institutions will never ask for this information via unsolicited contact. Exercise caution when dealing with unfamiliar individuals or businesses, always verifying their legitimacy before sharing any personal data. Be particularly wary of deals that seem too good to be true. They often are. Fourthly, shred sensitive documents before discarding them, ensuring that your personal information is not accessible to unauthorized individuals. Protect your mail from theft by using a secure mailbox and regularly collecting your mail. If you become a victim of fraud or identity theft, act swiftly and decisively. Immediately report the incident to the relevant authorities, such as your local police department and the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. Contact your financial institutions to report fraudulent transactions and place fraud alerts on your accounts. The FTC provides resources and guidance on reporting identity theft and taking steps to recover from it. Contact the 3 major credit bureaus to place a fraud alert or security freeze on your credit reports, preventing unauthorized credit applications. A security freeze will prevent anyone from accessing your credit report without your explicit consent, providing a high level of protection. Furthermore, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, provides consumers with significant rights when it comes to inaccurate information on their credit reports. Under the FCRA, you can dispute inaccurate information with the credit bureaus and request that it be corrected or removed. This is particularly important in the aftermath of identity theft, where fraudulent accounts or activities may appear on your credit report. Documenting the steps you take to correct the errors and preserve the evidence of fraud is crucial for effectively resolving the situation. Finally, consider purchasing identity theft protection services. These services offer various tools and resources to monitor your credit report, alert you to suspicious activity, and assist you in recovering from identity theft. While these services are not a replacement for proactive preventative measures, they provide an additional layer of security and can significantly reduce the impact of a potential breach. Remember, your proactive engagement with these strategies, coupled with an understanding of the legal recourse available to you, forms the bedrock of robust consumer protection in the digital age. Vigilance and knowledge are your most valuable tools in the fight against fraud and identity theft.
Like and subscribe to support the channel. Donations welcome.